Malzahar TCG here, and pretty much everything in the market right now is crashing except for League of Legends Riftbound. In today's video, I wanted to go over some of the other popular TCGs or liquidity assets and kind of look at what is working right now. And not much. A lot of things are down except for Riftbound. So here we're on TCG Player, and we can see some of the best-selling Riftbound cards. Some interesting things here. Everything is really stuck at these prices. It's not going down at all right now. You have the booster display, $300, Dead Bloom Predator, $100 card, and an epic, as well as Dazzling Aurora right on its heels at $82. You also have the Time Warp here, another $100 card. The Kaisa Alt Art is getting close to $100. So a lot of these cards are holding prices for a couple reasons. You have the Houston tournament coming up at the end of the year here. There is very little to no supply of Riftbound out there right now. But compared to everything else, it's holding up really well. I know it just came out, so that's another reason. But, I mean, we'll start here with Bitcoin real quick. Bitcoin down to 92,000. If you look at the year chart, at one point when it was in the 80s a few hours ago, 89,000. On the year-long chart, that is literally unchanged for the year. So pretty interesting there. Let's go into some other TCGs here. Pokemon. Everybody knows about Pokemon. So we have Mega Evolutions here. Pokemon is holding somewhat well. I wouldn't call Pokemon a crash, but there is some corrections here. You can see the Mega Evolutions, the last set booster box, down to 257. Go over to some of the big chase cards out of Mega Evolutions. You have the Lucario here, still trying to find its bottom. $300 card, down into the 220s right now. And so if we go to Prismatic, here's something interesting where you can see some price discrepancy issues on TCG Player. Very few sales on TCG Player here, and they're saying this is a $1,300 to $1,100 card. That might not quite be true. If you look at eBay's last sales today, $714, that was on an auction. Another $740 one here, $815. This is $1,000 for a PSA 9. A weird sale for $450, but so there is some price discrepancies when you're looking at certain websites. So make sure you're double checking everything right now. But all three of these things in Bitcoin are showing signs of, slowdown or crashes. Here's the Mega Gardevoir EX. Also going down to the low 200s here. So still trying to find its price point. Phantasmal Flames. This just came out. To be expected as all the supply hits the market. Things are going to come down. But if you look back at Riftbounds in the Origin Booster display box here, you could see a similar trend, and immediately once people realized there is no more supply, it just shot up like crazy, up to $300 here. So what else do we have here? Let's look at Avatar. Avatars from Magic here, about $524 a box, and this is just a dramatic price swing. These collector boxes in Magic would kind of make me a little nauseous if I was interested in doing any of these. 800 pre-sale, drop down to 500, spike back up to 659, and then shortly after it's coming back down. So a lot of things are correcting, coming down to maybe a return to normalcy. The economy is a little bit in question right now, so people seem to be a little spooked, and people maybe are taking some risk off the table here. The Spider-Man one, honestly, this is just an epic collapse. I think we can easily call this a crash. 58% in 3 months. I know these pre-release sales are insane, but if you look at this, all the way down to 300s and still trying to find its bottom here. So let's go to one more. Super Slam. I'm not super familiar with Flesh and Blood, but this is something that is kind of interesting here. Pretty stable, but still it's going lower and lower. One other thing I wanted to compare with when we're looking at Riftbound here. So in these booster boxes, you get 24 packs. And these boxes are going for roughly $300. There's some 260, 280s. If you compare that to the Mega Evolutions here, in And something that you get 36 packs of Pokemon, 36 booster packs right here, it's going for a similar, if not less of a price. So I think that just goes to show how strong the demand for Riftbound is right now, and maybe how much more people feel like they get per pack, per box with Riftbound. So yeah, let's go back to the Origin booster boxes here. And like I said, the supply seems to be getting eaten up, or there just is not enough to sell anymore. I mean, how many total listings? 39 other listings here. Let's go to Mega Evolutions here and see how many listings. Yeah, 57. Let's do Phantasmal Flames. You have 70 listings here, so somewhat lower. 39 listings. The demand for Pokemon's supposed to be higher anyways, but right now with how popular Riftbound is and the release of this, maybe they are somewhat similar. And let's go to the Proving Ground set box. This one has been somewhat of a disaster. 131% in the last 3 months on this. Just insane movement. Not much to say about this, but they did not print enough of this. Not at all. I guess the value you get for 4 whole, champion starter decks basically, and the exclusivity of all these characters. Maybe they didn't really think this one through, but this one has been going crazy. What does this all mean exactly? Well, one thing it means is Riftbound has came into this space and, blown it up really. They are taking market share from a lot of these card companies. People are really enjoying the game. People are really enjoying the IP. And they are sucking from all of these other card companies and all these other IPs while also bringing in from their own IP. If we look at the Riftbound TCG here on Reddit, 132k summoners. That is insane growth over the past few months. I remember when this was 50, 40, 30k summoners, really has just dramatically been growing at an unprecedented rate. So yeah, that's not the reason why all these other cards and everything else is crashing, but it is the reason why Origins and these booster boxes and the Proving Grounds are staying up so high, because of the demand, the short prints, and it's just insane growth right now. So what can we learn from some of these other companies right now who are possibly printing like crazy, printing more than ever into possibly a slowing economy? That's a good way to get your prices down. If you want to see Riftbound do the same, that's what they have to do. They have to print into this possibly slowing economy. But if you're on the collector side and you like to see, these prices go up, you're probably pretty happy right now. It's going to be really hard though once people want to start opening cards, new people joining, and they see these price tags. It's going to be really hard for them to get in. So I think what we can learn is it's a supply and demand issue. Right now there's not enough supply, and that's what is causing Riftbound to just keep climbing. Alongside of it being a really good game, a lot of the IP is just really intriguing and bringing in a lot of new players. And a lot of the cards too themselves are just really cool. I'm still trying to collect as many of these cards as I can. Even just some of these epics are so cool. Like this Echo Time Warp is just a really cool card. Even if it wasn't like super powerful, just the art on it would be really cool. These seals are starting to go crazy too, and possibly this is because of anticipation from the next set where you can use seals and add gear to them. And so it's going to be interesting to see where this goes. But right now, Riftbound is in a league of its own in a way, just holding up while the rest of the market is kind of calming down or correcting. Let me know what you guys think. What do you think of these Riftbound markets and prices? And how do you think it's doing compared to other TCGs? Thanks for watching. Malzar TCG out.